Oh, you're still watching Ways. World Malaria Day is marked annually on the 25th of April to focus global attention on malaria. And its devastating impact on families, communities, and societal development, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. This year's theme is Harness Innovation to Reduce the Malaria Disease Burden and Save Lives. Malaria remains a significant public health and development challenge. In the last year, about 95% of the estimated 228 million cases occurred in the WHO, that's the World Health Organization, Afro region, along with 602,020 reported deaths. World Malaria Day is an occasion to renew political commitment and encourage continued investment in malaria prevention and control. So, World Malaria Day today. Who are we starting with about malaria? What's your experience with malaria? I don't know the last time
we've all had malaria at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
A day like this, it's important for me to just remind everybody, not just our leaders and not just Nigeria now, Africa as a whole, the kind of attention and let me just leave that attention we give to COVID-19. If you look at statistics, right, if you look at the number of deaths we have from malaria in this part of the world, then if we are to be shutting anything down, then it should be shutting down for malaria. I mean, a friend of mine would say it became important for even the government, the high and mighty, to talk about COVID-19 because it was no respecter of class. Your money cannot save you. You can't decide to just build an amazing home or have your own segregated estates.
It's not possible.
Right? It's not possible. It gets to you, and
as
that was why.
But because communing with people,
you know, but this is a situation that has been part of us for the longest of time. We've been talking about it. We are hoping that there are solutions. The issues are sort of multifaceted in terms of death. Right, we also have issues of cholera and things like that. We've not seen the level of attention we saw for COVID on it. So I just think it's a day for everybody to really begin to reflect and wonder if we are really our brother's keeper, if we really love ourselves. If COVID-19 was also a sickness that could only hit the poor, would there have been a shutdown, right? So for me, I mean, it's World Malaria Day. We've always been talking about it.
So the thing with malaria is, the interesting thing is malaria is highly preventable, right?
There are countries that don't know what malaria is.
I mean, so malaria is something that, first of all, our environment, so you have all those clogged drainages and all of that are breeding points for malaria, for mosquitoes rather, that eventually translates into malaria. So if you understand how these things are important, so you would take even as basic as the sanitary condition of your country, you take it seriously. So every time you see dead water trapped or dead whatever trapped anywhere, you would see that mosquitoes would always be there. And go and check it out. Poor people do not have access to clean waters. They don't. So they are the ones that are really, really exposed, you know, to things like this. Thank God for the people that can afford insecticides and all of these things. Then keep your nets closed because you can turn on the air conditioner or the fan. Some people have to throw wide their windows because they need, if not, meningitis heat will kill them. If malaria is not killing them, something will kill them. So it's like you said, it's multifaceted. I hope that they are understanding the ripple effect. So when we do not have development in terms of power, when we do not have clean environment, like your drainages, all those things completely cleared from clogging and all of that, it's a direct implication. So when you say that you have over 600,000 deaths of malaria, right? It is crazy.
Yes,
you know?
So I'm in agreement with you, Uwa. For me, I always look at solutions, because we can go on and on talking about stuff, but if we're not looking at the solutions, then we're just rigmaroling. So I think there was a time we had in Nigeria, I don't know if it was only in Lagos or only in Benin, but I think it was nationwide, where we practiced something called the Sanitation Day. It was like one Saturday in a month where everybody had to stay home to clean up. So they cleaned the drainage, they cleaned everywhere, the environment, because if we have things littering around like tires, old tires, used tires, then we have water in them breeding mosquitoes. So I think the government should continue to practice these things that you should practice before, and continue to sensitize the public so that they know that these things are
and also
avoidable.
Play their part.
Yeah, but see, like we said, it's not just only about the government, so we need to play our part.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so well, we starting where?
Let me start.
Okay.
President Muhammadu Buhari has directed Nigeria's security agencies to intensify the clampdown on illegal refineries in the country. The directive follows the explosion that rocked an illegal refinery Friday night at Abezi Forest in Imo State. Of course, Premium Times had reported that scores of people were killed and several other people injured in the incident. The president emphasized the security agencies have been directed to intensify clampdown on illegal refineries. He also described the incident as a catastrophe and a national disaster. He said the responsibility of the loss of lives and property must squarely lie with the sponsors of the illegal refinery, assuring that they must all be caught and made to face justice. The president conveyed the condolences and the full depth and range of the nation's shock and trauma to families of the victims, the community, and the people of the state. He urged community leaders and the personnel of the Nigerian police force to take steps to ensure that such heartbreaking incident is not allowed to occur again in any part of the country. Yeah, over 100 persons were burnt beyond recognition, so it's a sad one. May the souls of the departed rest in peace. But I really hope that this doesn't just end in the news and talk. Something needs to be done so that, like he rightly said, this does not repeat itself again, because this is a national disaster.
Need to go after the person, the illegal bunker or whatever they call them. They need to go after him, because if you have a lot of illegal sites like this, then this will continue to happen, whether you like it or not, because of the level of poverty in our country. So I think what the government can do is just prevent all this illegal bunkering by looking for them and shutting them down. Yeah, absolutely.
Man, your story.
Okay, my story, it's Lagos reopens Chrisland school after sex tape scandal. So after the sex video went viral on social media, the state government had on Monday announced the closure of all the branches of the school in their state. The government on Saturday directed Chrisland schools across the state to reopen. He said the decision to close the school will negatively affect other learners in the school, and especially those sitting for external exams. So the Commissioner of Education, Mrs. Folashade Adefisoye, gave the directive in a statement yesterday, saying that reopening the school follows the review of the ongoing administrative interrogation into the viral sex tape that involved 5 students of the school. The state government justified its decision on the ground that the closure became necessary towards ensuring safety of the students and staff and to ensure unhindered investigation of the incident. The Education Ministry and other agencies in the state will collaborate with the school's Parents Teachers Association to provide psychological support for the affected students, and has also planned to launch the reviewed guidelines and protocols governing private and public school across the state within the next 1 month. So the statement added that an extensive assessment of the school's procedure, especially on external trips and excursions, is being made to identify safety gaps and prevent such incidents.
I was beginning to believe what they were saying until they said they were going to review that guide in 1 month in this country.
Okay, Elsie, that's one thing. But for me, I think the important thing here is that they reopen the school, because I was never in support of them closing down. How can you shut down the school across the state? It doesn't make any sense, because we have students in school. You know, why should an incident that happened outside the country affect other people who did not travel, who are in school, who are trying to sit to write their exams? So I think we try to do the things that seem the easiest in Nigeria. You know, levy fines against these people. When you make them pay for any act of misconduct by the school, you make them pay huge amounts of money, 20 million naira. They would ensure that they are always in check. You understand what I'm saying? It's just easy to shut down. And then there's talk about some people saying that shutting down means that they are creating rooms for bribery. So you shut the school down, the owners of the school come to you, they bribe you, you open the school. So what happens? All the other schools that have been shut down in recent time, what's happening? We just hear silently that they've reopened, and then business goes on as usual. So I think they need to sit up, the state needs to sit up and do their jobs well, because education is one thing that we are trying not to, drop. Nobody wants to drop the ball. Yes, because if we lose that, even public will already drop the ball.
That's where I was coming from. Because now to drop the ball, I say we ball like
if the state is shutting down schools at every point in time when things like this happen, then what's the future of education in Nigeria?
So I am reserving this conversation of this reopening of Chrisland to Wednesday, because first of all, it was totally wrong.
In the first place, right?
It was totally wrong. We're having a guest, that has worked closely with Lagos State government. I think they acted so rashly. It was so much in their face. Yes, it was a very irrational. Like, I had so many people chat me, well, what do you think about the closure of the school? I said, what were they thinking? Right, first of all, this incident that even happened did not happen in the school premises. So let us even start to say,
it's way different from the other one.
Let's be clear on what we're doing.
It's just the easiest path to follow. That's
it was
why
a very lazy man. And I think they were trying to score cheap points that eventually backfired. Because why would you think?
And then you don't even shut down the particular
school. You shut down the entire branch of the school.
What are you on?
No, that was a total no.
It's crazy.
And again, so that's why I want to have the conversation with an expert. So I'm not talking from a sentimental point of view, but for me, I felt that was a very wrong move. Very wrong.
All
right, so my story, I just could not find any story, so let me look for one. Our political aspirant, what's his name? Ayim, has assured Nigerians that no cabal in Nigeria's seat of power will dictate to the country who the next president will be. So he was saying this in an interview. I think it was on a radio show or something. So he was talking about having to take a shot at the presidential seat. And he says whether cabal or no cabal, he's going to be going to giving it his first shot. And he thinks that with the new Electoral Act, people have more confidence, right, that their votes will count. So a lot of people, he's hoping that a lot of people will come out.
Why does Ayim think that he wants to be president of Nigeria?
I don't even understand.
What did he do? Please, let's
talk.
No.
Bear your mind, bear it out.
I've traveled and I'm at peace.
Yeah, relax.
So you're refreshed.
It's okay.
You know
what's in media ticket? How much with your ticket again?
No, PDP is cheap.
PDP
is cheap. But I'm just saying.
I don't know.
I'm just saying that, like, how so sweet. All of a sudden, some people just come and you think you are talking. We want to like.
Well, the one that shared the video of the guy. I don't know what he is right now, because I didn't watch a lot of it. I don't want to use the tribe, but one human being in a video saying he wants to become the president that
Allah has told him. He's a Muslim cleric.
Who has God not even called to be the president?
You should have played the video.
We should have really.
That the gods have told him. Allah has told him that. I said, okay, everybody they use God now. It is well. We'll take a break now.
God, if you tell me tomorrow, you should be ready to gather money. Adamu said you should contribute his own form, 100 million.
Already. On that note, to take a break, when we come back from the break, we're going to be discussing why it's important that young people participate in politics, and we have a young candidate with us. Stay with us. We'll be right back.